Hello everyone. I'm just about to start designing my logo for my YouTube channel, and I thought I'd just bring you along so you can see the process on how I make it all. I'm going to be using my iPad to do most of the drawings on. Um, I've got a bunch of ideas so far, and I got the criteria for the design. So let's just get started. What? Okay, so let's get some designs going for this logo for my channel. So for the logo, I want to make it a really simple design. I want to implement some Welsh features, well, Welsh features from the flag in particular, to make it feel like a Welsh-based channel. So ideally, I'm going to use the colours from the Welsh flag. So obviously they're red and green. And well, I was planning originally on using a dragon, like the whole body of the dragon. But to make it a bit more simple, I thought, why not just take a section of the dragon and just create a basic shape so people can see it as a more symbol or symbolic and still recognize it's a dragon. So I've gathered a bunch of images off Google of just basic dragon claws as the first test anyway. So I'll try a dragon claw first, see how this goes. So my favorite one really is, sorry, let's get this working. Yeah, this one, but yeah, this one is probably my favorite one. It looks, um, how does it, well, the flag only has 3 claws, so I guess we could have 3 claws. Like this one, yeah, just looks more like a chicken claw. These are quite human-like. The others are quite, they don't look very scary and, bold like our dragon is for the flag. So let's stick with this one here now for now, and we'll try and get 3 claws rather than the 4. And we can change the shape slightly to fit more like the flag. Okay, let's start there then. If I just duplicate this layer quick, hide this one, and we can just quickly scribble out the rest, because this is just one whole image. So we can just be left with this, chuck this here, and now let's get a nice outline for this claw. So we can start. Well, shall I try? I have an idea. Let's try, let's make this pen a bit thinner. Let's just go with these first two a second. So if I go over like this, well, bear in mind this is just a rough sketch. This won't be the final design. Okay. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's get the colour over here. And this one as well. Oops. By the way, just to let you know, I am recording this on my iPad Pro with an Apple Pencil. This makes it much easier than just using your finger. Okay, that's the second claw almost done. Let's tip that off. Okay, so obviously we want just the 3 claws here rather than the 2 on this section, sorry. So I want to keep this claw in because it looks more like it's the end of the claw. So if I create a new layer, and go with this claw. Okay, so that kind of roughly lines up. We can now move this over and adjust it accordingly. So if we just cut this bit off, put that bit up here, create some little details by here, just so you can see a bit more clearly that it's coming from a claw. For now, get the curve of that in, move this up here. There we go. Let's just fine tune these. We can start to make it look a little nicer. But that's the gist of the claw. It's actually worked out a lot better than I thought it was going to. So we've got the 3 claws here now. And the end one here. So if we just merge these 2 down, we can chuck this as a rough design now up here. We could start this page now as a bunch of rough designs. Okay, I do apologise everyone, but my recording had stopped and it didn't save. So since the last clip, I have done a number of designs, and none of them have, well, obviously they've saved on here, but they did not save on the video that I done. So it's a shame, really. It's probably about 20 minutes worth, but it doesn't matter. Just try our best. So right now I have this design going, but let's come back to this in a sec. I'll just run over everything else. So these are the ones I've had so far. So after doing the first design, I thought it would be better to make some designs with a bit more shape, that were a bit more symbolic. So going back to these black and white sketches, I picked out this one, which originally I said I wasn't a big fan of, because it looked a bit like a chicken bowl or claw. But I thought we could do something with it. So with that, I started to do this design here. And to match the claw from the flag, which has this section at the bottom, I included that into this design here and just put it out at the bottom rather than having a leg, to try and make it a bit more basic. You can see in this design here, I took out like these sections just to make it more of an outline, but it kind of resembled more of a bird, so I wasn't a big fan of that. Next then I thought the design looked a bit like a print that the dragon would leave into the floor, so I went with that and tried to make a more realistic paw print, because obviously they'd all be at different depths. So I came up with this just by going over it, like kind of imagining where the paw would touch the ground first and leave a print. So that's what I come up with that. But I mentioned that I wasn't a big fan of that, because it's quite hard to make a shape from it. So then, using these logos here, I was looking at how really simple they all are, which obviously is one of the criteria for my design is going to be simplicity. So taking this design into account, and the previous one. I wanted to make a really basic shape, you know. So I came up with this, just a literally more basic shape than this one. And I quite like it. It's really modern looking. And I think it's my favorite one so far in terms of a logo. These year I was fiddling with the idea of putting a circle around it. I got this idea from the Xbox here and how they have the X, but then it's all kind of bordered by a circle. EA next to it is the same. Is there any others on here? On lift and here. There could be more, I guess, but I just fiddled with the idea there and added some color to see how it would look. I guess it looks alright, but I prefer this more simple one here. So now I finally caught you all up. I'm going to try putting this design into a circle. So how I done this earlier was I made a new layer just to I could edit the circle separately. I'll show you how now. So first I create a rough circle around the design. If I just straighten the page out first. Sorry, do it again. There we go. And now I can just edit it to fit in. There we go. Well, already, this is looking much more modern. So now I just merge this down with this one. Now I can edit them both together to make it a bit more circular. Okay, let's make that a bit bigger. Okay then, so it's not looking bad. It's a bit uneven at the minute. Could try and fix it a little bit, but I can always. I'll do a better design if I need to in the future. Okay. So far we've got these designs. I was tempted to try and add some text in the video that I lost, but I thought, because we have such a long company name, it would take up too much space and we just end up looking like a bunch of text. We could use the initials, I guess, but let's just have a look at some logos to perhaps do this. Well, Ubisoft have done it in this design. They've got a name under it because you can always, include the logo on its own. It'd still be just as recognizable. Like obviously Ubisoft have done here. You've also done it, but but the logo, I guess, is already their initials. But all these designs all have the text under the logos. Treyarch here. Okay, so let's try putting in the text under the logo, or the initials anyway. Let's put it on this layer. Well, I thought this pen would be a bit more. That's better. Still not making much difference really. There we go. Oh, it's a bit of an angle. It's my bad. Let's try it again. Well, that's not bad at all. Yeah, it's optional really at this point whether to include the text. I'm quite liking. I don't know. I'm not sure what I prefer. So just to combat the problem I had earlier with the video deleting, I'm gonna make loads of shorter clips that I'll stop and restart. So if there's any clips in the video, I do apologize beforehand. It's just to make sure I don't lose any more of the video. Okay, scrap that. Let's go back to the dragon. Oh, never mind. I forgot about this. Yeah, earlier on, I started to do this design. This is when the video turned off. Oops. Let's bring that over here. Use some space for the tongue. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Probably should have zoomed in a bit beforehand. Let's try it again. Let's see. There we go. There's the gap. Okay. Is that how the dragon looks? Yeah, just do the gap. Okay. So with or without the tongue, this is what I done earlier. I done the 2 layers with the tongue, so I could quickly get rid of it. See if I prefer it with or without it. I do like the tongue in it, but it's very long, so it's a bit intrusive. I think what I'll try for now is just add a little thing here so the mouth doesn't look so empty, you know. Because there was such a big gap there, you know, it just looked a bit strange. And we can add that there. Okay, I'm liking that. It still feels like a sour dragon, you know. And perhaps we can just fill the eye in as well. Okay. Now, how can we simplify this? So I'm feeling taking out some of the spikes going across his head. So let's just go around it like so. Just doing a more simple outline to see how its shape will look. Just get rid of this line quick. No, I didn't actually, because it's not going to look much like a head. Okay, let's remove that. Oh, I don't know about that, everyone. It looks more like a mouse or something, you know. Doesn't feel very dragon-like. But I think that's what's happening with the design I done earlier as well. These sharper details, you know, look, kind of make it more dragon-like. Now, I'm not getting rid of anything I designed. I'm going to keep it all on this page, even if I don't like it, because it might end up giving me some inspiration further down the line. How else could we go about doing this? So I've gathered some basic like designs of dragon heads. I just got them from Google and merged them all into one layer. So I want to keep doing some designs with the dragon head, but the one we had before was obviously it's come straight from the flag, the Welsh flag, but it's not, well, it's not very simple. It's got a lot of detail in it, which I tried to take out. You can see from the one above, and it's not really resembling a dragon very well. So I thought I'll just try a completely different approach and use some different dragon heads and see how we can change the one we have to match something along these lines. So I'm quite like how I had the designs in a circle earlier. There's three by here. As you can see them here, and they instantly catch my eye compared to the other ones because they look a lot neater. They look more they're more logo like, if that makes sense. I'm also quite like this one in the corner, but we could implement any of them into a circle, I guess, but this one looks like it's not trying to overly use the dragon as its logo, which I quite like. It's not trying to shove in your face that it's a dragon, So how can we do this with our dragon that we already have? I merged them all together just now because there was so many layers going on. It was hard to start to, see what was going on when I wanted to move things around. So I thought if I need them that bad, I can just select them. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Okay, let's try with the one in the bottom left, like I said just now. That I said I liked. We could. Is this on red? Yes. We could kind of flick it around like so. But then again, it's so much pointy sections on this dragon head compared to the other one. It doesn't fit very well as a curve. So let's try doing a more rigid curve. So let's make a layer, do a rough thing of what we want. I'd like this to come always up at a point at the end, neat like so. And now we can go over this again and perhaps try to get a bit more rugged. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of that. It looks very messy. Even though I mentioned about the point just now, I do actually quite prefer this look. Let's just add to this for now. What we could do, excuse me, is try and perhaps add some texture on his back by going like this. No, well, I was actually planning on removing the curve behind it, but I think it looked just as good with it, to be honest. Look a bit like scales, you know? You could snap that up over there. See how it looks without it. Right, okay, so let's just stick with this a minute. You know, let's remove it. Oh, yes. Yeah, I think I prefer it without it. You know, because the head itself doesn't have, you know, like any of these lines going over it like this, where the points come out from. This all one shape, you know. Um, what else could we do? Okay, so in this design, it splits into two different shapes. So we could perhaps have that come like this. Okay, let's see how this looks. Bit smaller. I think unless it's filled, it's going to be hard to see what goes with what. So let's try filling it in. And the reason I'm just duplicating them is so I can access them individually later, because I want to merge them for now. Now, I am actually quite liking this. We've added well, it's kind of similar to this design really, which I didn't even notice. But you know, dragons are known for quite rough edged designs. So obviously we do not have the tongue in this design. I did have it somewhere. It's by here. I believe it would be bigger than this. It would sit more like this. It's my bad. They're not touching somewhere. After I see this dragon, it's to meet like this. And now we should be able to fill it in the right colour. Okay, well, what I'm quite liking about this is how If I get another colour so I can show you, is how the tongue is kind of all coming through. I don't think you'll be able to see that very well. It's all coming through. Oh, can't see it over top, of course. Let's move this up here. How it's all coming through in one flow like this. So what could we do from here? I think I'll just keep this as one design for now. Just make some more room so we can fit everything on in one page. It's good how you can see the development of the design from this to this to this, you know. So this is by far the most detailed one we've done. But there's no stop there. Let's go back to these images for now. Okay, so the design we just done is going to be a bit hard to fit in a circle because of the shape of his head. And well, just the shape of his is too wide. So if we just go back to the original head, which is here, shrink it down a bit. And now we can perhaps have to get the red first to keep it all in quite compact. Perhaps we could just make a body similar to the last one, but not have it come all the way around. And maybe have it come more just like so. And this is going to cause it to come out too much. So let's bring that back in. Bring it down. And we could keep the same theme we got going on with this one by having maybe like chest come like this, and neck meet there. So now let's just add the pointy sections on the back. I'm just going around the previous outline now, so we can remove it. Okay, now we can delete this one. Okay, obviously the pen is probably a bit thick, but we can get the gist. So maybe if it's still looking a bit wide to fit in a circle. Let's just see how weird it would look if we just simply brought it in. Well, it doesn't look that bad, I guess. Let's try fitting it in. Sorry, straighten it up. Same mistake I made last time. Whoa, I don't know what I done there. Right, sorry. Messed it up again. Let's try it again. Okay. Well, I mean, you can see how it would work. Now we'd have to bring the body more like this. Not that. You know, it's not really a problem. It's lucky we didn't include the tongue, because it would have come right up the circle. Now if we want to add it, I guess we could just include it ourselves. Roughly like so. So we can make it a little shorter. Well, you know, it's not perfect, but we can get the gist. I think for this design, I prefer to have it all meet and follow the curve of the circle, just to make it look a bit tighter. This section is way off. Yeah. Well, it's starting to come together a bit. I still feel like the circle's a bit wide. Obviously, if I was to do this as a final design, I would, you know, I can measure the circle to make sure it's all even, which I can't do on here, to my knowledge anyway. The design in this, well, the designs from the black and white, like themed ones I gathered, they all seem to have kind of no pupils in their eyes. They're all just these white, empty sections. I want to not so much have my design black, but try and cover it as one image, if that makes any sense. So what I'm going to try is move this over. Oops, shove it under here for now. We can duplicate that one. Put it next to it. Don't know how that's happened, but sure we can fix it. That'll do. Right, so how am I going to do this? So I'm going to take out all these little details first, just to get an outline. Any lines inside, is going to be removed. Is that line part? That's this one. And then right, so that's going to have to go. I want the to be a bit of a, want the teeth to be obvious, because if I fill all this in, it's going to be all black and we won't see the teeth. So we might have to make the tongue thinner so we can still fit the teeth in. And have the tip of it come like so. Let's clean up these edges. Okay. Obviously it's looking a lot less angrier with the eye, but I guess that helps it. What did the original have? Because I for some reason put, yeah, right, okay. This instead. So now we're just gonna fill all this in. Let's just make these teeth a bit more prominent. Okay, so it was we. Yeah, so this is the bold version. The one thing I would like to change is just to even some lines up that don't look as obvious now there's one image. This section is quite messy, so let's try and clean this up a little bit. Okay, that's looking a bit more clear. I find that going around outlines with an eraser rather than the actual pen tool makes them a bit sharper. That's what. Okay, well, there's a difference in it. You can kind of see already how that would come along if we were to use this. For the sake of this, let's just duplicate it again. Move it over. We can shrink this one down a bit, just to save some space. Just fill it in to try and save some space, like. Okay. So for this one, I'm going to just make it black, so we can compare it to the other ones. Already we can see a resemblance between these. Now this section here is looking a bit thin. You know, even though this might not fit the actual dragon from the flag, it's going to look a lot better, because we haven't got all the fine details we could use on there, like the one before. Sharpen these edges up a bit. There we go, that's better. Kind of looks more flame-like, I guess, than the actual year. I don't know. Could put it back, but I'll keep it for now. So what is this line that comes in there then? I don't think that's meant to be there. No, it's not. Oh, I only don't notice this then. It's probably from zooming in and out, you know. It always catches, as you've probably seen at this point. Okay, so the most obvious problem of this is probably the circle. It's quite boring and tacky. So how have these done it? They've kind of overlapped a bit with some of the stuff on that's already on the screen. One. Right. You coming out, Jeff?
What?
You coming out, Jeff?
I could just print something.
Right. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is try and change the circle around the outside a bit. See that these ones are overlapping. So let's try just doing something on them lines. We have to do the thickness first. There we go. Do it on a new layer as well. So diff. No, how do they do it? Well, this one has it all on the outside. So what parts can overlap? Maybe the ear nose, maybe? Yeah, the idea of that. Then we can have the head kind of follow the curve a bit more. Slightly anyway. Okay, so let's get a rubber tool. Just briefly. Okay, so now I'm just gonna take out the section right here. For the ring. And we don't want to make it too thick because it's gonna look obvious. Okay. Maybe we can have these parts come out as well. Or should we just have this bit? Light bear on there. So this is how it would look with this kind of circle now. Looks much better to me initially. And what I want to try is perhaps curving out the ends of the circle. Okay, just do these as well. This is too thick. Okay, so here's another design. This yellow would look red. green clip, maybe we could have the outside green, because I want to include green in the design. It's looking a lot more Welsh-like. Or should we do this bit red as well? Yeah, because there's more part to dragon in it. Yeah. Now what I would like to try and do is practice it on this old one, so we don't ruin this other one. But I would like to try and change the eye a bit to make it look a bit more aggressive. And we do eyes by creating almost like a frowny face. Angling the eyes down a bit more. We can point them off if we want to. Like so. Yeah, I think that's much better. So let's try and do the same with this one. It's a little different to this one, but I think I do actually prefer the other one. Curved bottom. Like so. I'm very happy with this so far. So it's really simple, quite basic shape. It's really modern looking. I guess there's not really much else I can do with it. I tried the claw, but it hasn't really. This bit hasn't really worked that much like the claw. I do quite like this design. It's got a bit more detail in it, and you can see more of the Welsh flag dragon in it compared to the other ones anyway. What else could we do? Guess we could try one more thing and just duplicate this and see how it would look as more of a solid drawing. So let's try that quick. What I will do first is try and remove the thicker tongue, so you can see the teeth protrude. Like so. And now I guess we just try removing the eye as well, like we did on the other one. And now just fill in the whole drawing with one colour. Guess it's not that bad. It's more simplistic, but it's so similar to the previous one that, you know, we might as well just stick with that, because between the two I definitely prefer the other one. So I think what I'll do going forward is this, make a new page for starters. We'll duplicate this. We'll put it above here. We'll get this one, which we will put above as well. Which are the ones that I like. If I try and get feedback off this, I feel that it's just going to be down to the most detail, which is the last one we done. And, you know, we can see what other people's opinions are, I guess, but my predictions is they'll go with the one we just done. I would try to do that earlier, didn't I? It didn't work. Okay, so what are we left with? Let's hide all these two. So I think these are the two final designs I will use. Like I just said though, if my aim is to make a simple symbolic logo, then I feel like the one on the right is the one to go for. But the one on the left is it's got more detail in the body, obviously, because it's different tones. So what I'll do is I'll get feedback on the both and decide from there.